We're looking at a parabola in the form y equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. We want to put it into the standard form, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Here the vertex then is the hk. So the h would go here and the k would go here. The problem is finding the h and the k. We know the a is right here. The a is 2, b is negative 3, the number times x, and c is 4, the number with no x at all. So we want to use the a, b, and c that we have to find the h and the k. There's a little formula that you can use. X equals negative b over 2a for the x coordinate of the vertex. In fact, that's your h, so that's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and find the x coordinate of the vertex that we call h. X equals negative b, so negative 3 over 2a, 2 times 2. So that's positive 3/4. So the x coordinate will be 3/4. Now we have to find the y coordinate. Plug in the x coordinate to find the y coordinate. So as you know, every point on the graph has an x and a y. We already have the x, now we just find the y that goes with that x, as we always do. We just take the it's positive 3/4 and plug it in for the x in x squared and plug it in for the x here. Let's go ahead and do that. So y equals 2 times 3/4 squared minus 3 times 3/4 plus 4. So that makes the y coordinate at the vertex 2 times 3/4 times 3/4, so 9/16 minus 3 times 3/4. Remember, when you're working with fractions, this 3 is like a 3 over 1, and the numerators multiply and the denominators multiply. So you have the 3 times 3 in the numerator and a 1 times 4 in the denominator. So when you're multiplying this 2, this is a 2 over 1. So you have 2 times 9 or 18 and 1 times 16 or 16 in the denominator. The 18/16 reduces to 9/8. Okay, those numbers are both divisible by 2. So I'm going to take my 9/4 and get a common denominator of 8. I'll take my 9/4 and multiply by 2/2. Same thing with the 4. I need a common denominator of 8, so I'll multiply by 8/8. So fractions have to have the same denominators to add. We'll go ahead and get the same denominator. So 9/8 minus 18/8 plus 32/8. Now you can add the numerators on those fractions together. 9 minus 18 plus 32, and that gives 23/8. So the x coordinate was the negative b over 2a, and now we took that x coordinate, we plugged it in and calculated the y coordinate that goes with that. So the y coordinate, or the k in the formula, is 23/8. So now you have your a, that was the 2, your h, negative b over 2a, or 3/4, and the k, 23/8. So let's write that all down. Y equals 2 times x minus the h, which is 3/4 squared, plus k, which is 23/8. So now you have completed, put this into standard form, this parabola. I have another one on the next page, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that. You might want to pause the video and try it yourself before before I do this. Okay. So we're using a, b, and c again. A is 5, b is 6, c is negative 1. And the x coordinate is negative b over 2a. In this class, you don't have to memorize that. when you get into pre-calculus, you'll probably have to memorize that. Okay, so x is negative b over 2a, so negative 6 over 2 times 5, that'd be negative 6 over 10, and that does reduce by a factor of 2. If you reduce your fractions first, your work will be a little easier. So now you have the x-coordinate. Now we need the y-coordinate, so to find the y that goes with that x, we put the negative 3/5 into the equation. So 5 times negative 3/5 squared plus 6 times negative 3/5 minus 1. Y equals 5 times, now whenever you square, you're going to get a positive. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. 5 times 5 is 25. So the x squared always comes out positive. The next term, this is a 6 over 1. So you have 6 times negative 3, that's negative 18. 1 times 5 is 5. So this 5 times 9 over 25, that's a 5 over a 1. So it's 5 times 9 in the numerator, 25 in the denominator. That 5 can divide into the 25 in the denominator. So y is 9/5 minus 18/5, and let's take that negative 1 and multiply it by 5/5. So we have a common denominator of 5. So now we can add all those fractions up. 9 minus 18 minus 5, that's negative 14. So there's negative 14/5. So you have the x-coordinate, you have the y-coordinate. We're filling in y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. The x-coordinate is the h, the y-coordinate is the k, and a is 5 from the original problem. So now I have minus negative 3/5, like that, and then negative 14/5. So this time my x-coordinate and my y-coordinate are both negative, so let's fix that up there. So it's x plus 3/5 in the parentheses squared minus 14/5. So now we have put the parabola into standard form where it's easy to see the vertex. The vertex is negative 3/5, negative 14/5 here. How about on the previous problem? Here the vertex would be positive 3/4, positive 23/8.